Ay, puta. Oh. I know what you're thinking. Does this outfit warrant some sort of magnificent, very well thought out content for the DPS fandom? Yes, of course. It most certainly does. Am I wearing this amount of clothes for a possibly very appropriately conducted video? And it better be something very important. I know that's what you're thinking, right? It is! The topic I will be discussing is incredibly important, and I'm pretty sure we've all been thinking about this. And that's right, I'm going to be rating all of the food in Dead Poets Society. I have notes too, so many of you may be wondering, Ame, what the oh wait, I know what you may be thinking. Ame, what the fuck? This has nothing to do. It has everything to do with Dead Poet Society. As we all know, you can't seize the day on an empty stomach. And I don't know, who knows, there could be symbolism in a bunch of food that they have. In fact, they have a lot of ingestible things in the movie that I'd like to discuss. Mainly, obviously, we will start with Mr. Keating's obvious obsession with mashed potatoes. I cannot be the only one who has noticed the amount of mashed potatoes Mr. Keating would add to his plate. I may have noticed this a bit later than others, but he does put 4 scoops
Mashed potato.
of mashed potatoes. The first scoop that he gave was to his fellow colleague on his left. But then he proceeds to put 4 scoops of mashed potato onto his plate. Now, were they the good kind of mashed potato? Personally, I don't eat a lot of mashed potatoes, but when I do, I don't like them as creamy as exhibited on the movie. But Mr. Keating, whether or not he just likes mashed potatoes in general, or he's a big fan of creamy mashed potatoes, he likes them. If he could seize the day, he would seize the potatoes. That's what he would do. There was also, I think, like a viand, the main meal, which is like the meat. I think it was meat. I thought it was fish at first, but it could be meat. Some sort of I don't know, because I'm from the Philippines, it reminds me of caldereta, so it could be caldereta. Basically, it's like a red sauce meat dish, like with tomatoes, and like beef, a few vegetables, like that kind of feeling. So it could be that one. But this was 1959. I doubt that they would have Filipino food on their tables. So I'm just thinking, yeah, it could just be a meat dish thing. Either way, if Mr. Keating would enjoy it himself, I guess I'm gonna have to rate the Mr. Keating's mashed potato bonanza a 4 out of 5 scoops, because that's how much Mr. Keating likes it. And if Mr. Keating likes it, hey, by God, it could be very good mashed potatoes. The other stuff that was on the lunch table that time was dessert. So what kind of dessert? I'm not sure, but I'm leaning towards like a pie. It looked like a pie. We could definitely see Meeks and Spaz enjoying it. And for the future purposes of my future videos, I will now refer to Spaz as Beetle, as credited to my Tumblr friend, because Spaz is not like a nice thing to call him. It's obviously like a bullying term. So Beetle and Meeks and also Todd are enjoying the delicious dessert. And while they're eating dessert, Neil is eating his lunch. So that's 2 things. They saved Neil some lunch. And also, that means Neil took a while to find the annual with Mr. Keating in it. If Neil is able to enjoy his meal, I may also have to rank like the standard dish, the one with the mashed potatoes and the meat. I guess I'm gonna have to rate it Neil over Perry. And for the dessert, because there are a good handful of boys actually like eating it, like rather than looking at Mr. Nolan, they would rather eat their food. So I guess I'd have to rate it 5 Americans over 6. I'm not quite sure what kind of pie it was. It looked like an egg pie. Again, I'm using food I eat here in the Philippines as a comparison. I'll actually keep doing that. It's egg pie. They're eating egg pie, guys. Or bread pudding. I'm not sure. They're just eating some sort of pie thing. And my rating still stands 5 Americas over 6. I have so many left over. Mr. Keating, paubos. Next, obviously, the other places that you could find food is, of course, Meeks' coat.
Meeks, put your coat down. Picnic blanket. Hey, use Meeks' coat. Use Meeks' coat.
So, on their very first meeting, we see Meeks volunteering to put his coat down. So, I did take note who placed who on the coat. So according to my notes, Neil was the one who put apples. Like the good student he is, he would put apples. And then we have Meeks, who put the cookies, but he also most probably put the raisins. I'm trying to see which part of the frame the raisins popped up, but it looks like it popped out from the paper bag that was owned by Meeks and where the cookies came from. So hold it! I'm not always willing to admit I was wrong in one video, but while editing this, I noticed when I enhanced the video, when I turned up the brightness and contrast, there's like a hand dropping. Nope, yep, that's definitely a hand. That's a hand dropping the... That means Cameron put it there. Oh, Cameron put the raisins. Of course Cameron would put the raisins, because Cameron, good boy, he eat raisin for snacks. Oh my god. Cameron. We could tell that Meeks is both like a very fun guy for putting cookies down, because like everybody literally only grabbed the cookies. Guys, spoiler, because like Cameron didn't bring anything, but he grabbed the raisins. And of course, I'm not sure if it was Knox or Todd who brought the apples and oranges too, but I'm willing to think it's Knox because I don't think Todd was that prepared for the meeting anyway. Of course, the infamous half a roll. We're gonna have like a little talk about this.
Wait a minute. You gave us half a roll.
I mean the other half.
Come on.
So imagine your pits, right? You bring your own food, you bring your own roll, right? Expecting probably that it was like a bring your own food kind of situation. And then in comes Mr. Charlie saying, hey, Meeks, put your coat down. Nobody hold back anything, okay? Literally, if you're pits, you would be that type of guy who's like, you didn't understand the assignment, but you're still making an effort to participate in the situation. So he didn't have any food on him, but he still participated and contributed half a roll, and he proceeded to take it back. Like he still did put something down, and then he retrieved it. There was nothing against the rules taking your own food back. So if you're that type of person, congratulations, you're a Pitskin. So my rating for Neil's apples, 10 good boys out of 10. Meeks' cookies, I'd give it 10 considerate friends out of 10. Cameron's raisins get 58 healthy boys out of 60. Apples and oranges for Knox, 9 out of 10 because you weren't original. But you did bring citrus fruit, so yet a 9. Charlie not actually putting anything down on the blanket, 0. And you made Meeks put his coat down. Next, notably, spaghetti and meatballs. So I'm going on the part of the deleted scenes. So obviously if you've watched the deleted scenes, they're eating the spaghetti and meatballs with their left hand. But prior to that, in canon, in like the actual movie, so they're running across the room. Okay, this is before Neil's dad finds out that they're running across the room. And somebody asks, what's for dinner? And then somebody says, spaghetti and meatballs. And the boys absolutely lose it. So they might hate Helton Hash, right? But there is something about Welton Spaghetti and a Meatballs night that is the event, is the night of nights for these boys, where they can finally eat some goddamn food, okay? And one of those foods is spaghetti and a meatballs. And they, like, not only is it delicious for them, but also they made it an event where they get to eat with their left hands. And guess what? Welton, even if they would say that they provide Welton hash, they provide a big meatball. Like come on, you saw Charlie shove that meatball in his mouth. You could think about this in two ways. It's either that the meatball is like a good portioned size for eating in like one bite, I guess, or Charlie is able to open his, like, he's able to dislocate his jaw, okay? He's able to dislocate his jaw and like consume such girth of a ball. That is Charlie Dalton for you. That is no wonder, everybody. Prior to this, okay, was the scene with Knox coming back from Chris's high school. And before he meets up with his friends, what happens? He passes through the kitchen of Welton, and grabs a toast. And let me tell you about this toast. This toast was the subject of like a very important post in Tumblr for quite a while. I won't bring up like the whole post, but basically, somebody wasn't sure where the toast came from. They thought that it could have been from Chris's high school, and then Knox just like kept it in his pocket or like put it in his mouth the whole ride going back to Welton. But I was able to debunk that it was at Welton's kitchen. But the idea of Knox eating a piece of toast like an anime schoolgirl while riding a bike will always be dear to my heart. The fact that I made fan art out of this idea shows commitment, baby. So yes, the toast. Let's just talk about how perfect the timing Knox had for that toast. That toast was crunchy. Perfect for spaghetti and meatball night, right? Just imagine that crunchy toast being paired with spaghetti and meatballs. You would be able to like scoop up some sauce, some leftover sauce from the spaghetti, and like eat it with... Sorry, I'm hungry now. Eat it with the toast, right? That's how good that toast would be. And that crunch, are you kidding me? Like, I'm not sure if this was added in post or if that was genuinely what you received from the sound in that moment, but there was some good crunch when Knox bit into that. I would like to have that specific toast, okay? And we've already capped off 3 people who love carbs. We have Mr. Keating with his potatoes, we have Pitts with half his roll, and Knox with his toast. So my rating for the spaghetti and meatballs, based on the girth of the meatballs alone and like the excitement that the boys had, since I don't know what they're eating exactly, because like there are different recipes for like pasta, but I would like to rate it 11 left-handed poets out of 10, at least. No, I will actually rate it 68 big balls over breaking old habits. Yeah. So, the aforementioned Helton hash
Anything's better than Helton hash.
was not seen in the actual movie, but it was mentioned, right, by Neil. I could only imagine what they mean by Helton hash. So, I guess hash was some kind of like slang term for like, I'm not sure, but I'm assuming it's some sort of food that's just like mystery meat or anything. But like, the fact that it has its own nickname makes it so infamous. It has me intrigued. Like, food that is that infamously bad deserves some recognition. So I may not be able to recognize how yummy it could be, but based on their reaction, their mild hate for this hash means it occurs very often. Like, the fact that they were excited about spaghetti and meatballs means that they don't often get spaghetti and meatballs, so they often have Helton hash. So I would like to think that Helton hash maybe does not taste good for growing boys like them. So I would have to rate it travesty over 10, just for the benefit of the boys never needing to eat that ever again. Like, I will make sure that you guys will have a good feeding program. I will personally cater. Do you guys like Japanese food? Do you guys like Filipino food? Do you like takeout? Do you like McDonald's? You like Jollibee? Don't worry, I got you boys. Okay, are you guys still with me? We're now moving on to snow. As we all remember, after Todd vomits, Charlie puts some snow into his mouth. Now, I've never personally seen snow, like actual snow, because I live in a tropical country where the only 2 seasons are extremely blistering, egg frying on the sidewalk hot, or monsoon season that will literally like put Noah's Ark to shame. That's how horrible the weather is, the climate is in my country. One can only be jealous of snow that edible, you know? Because I literally didn't know, like, people who have snow, they had like snow everywhere they went. If it's like a clean enough kind of snow, you could eat it. Like, the only snow cone that I could ever fathom eating was the ones that they would sell us at school fairs. Because that's the only way you would acquire snow, is if you shave a bunch of ice really fast and eat them before it melts. So like, I'm very envious of the fact that you could just shove snow into your mouth. Whether or not it was because you vomited, but like, if that snow at Welton at that time was clean enough to put in Todd's mouth to clean him of his vomit palate, I am one jealous lady. I'm one jealous tropical country lady. Because snow, fresh from the floor. May I have some? May I please have the snow, sir? Can I please have the snow? Can I? Gosh. But yes, I would rate that snow 15 crying toads over 14. It's beautiful.
So beautiful.
Next, all alcohol in this movie. I am not a fan of people who drink underage. I didn't do that when I was underage, okay? Also because even as a person who is allowed to drink, I don't drink. Like, it's really rare for me to actually like alcohol. So maybe this is just very biased. But we have parts there where they wanted to drink, sure. I don't condone it, but they seem to be having fun. The whiskey part, thanks Tina for the whiskey. Or was it Gloria? Either way, you know, Neil had doubts of drinking it. He didn't have to. Neil, you're supposed to be the Dalton good boy, but then, you know, he's rebellious and stuff like that. Like, we also have that party where Knox went to. Like, Knox, come on, made Knox do the bad thing, and I don't like that you have to blame alcohol for him being all weird. Nothing good ever happens when you drink underage, okay? Just wait, you know, wait. Like, maybe drink with your family, you know, when you're like at the right age, when you know the consequences of drinking. Anyway, I would rate all the alcohol consumed by underage people in that movie 2 Mutt Sanders' brothers over 11. I don't recommend it. Like, what's so fun about drinking anyway? It hurts my throat. But you know what's yummy? Moscato's kind of yummy. I tried it only for people who are over 21. Well, in our country it's 18, but still. But yeah, you know what? You can get drunk on life. You know what I'm saying? You know, like read a good book or watch a good movie. You can get high on life. Anyway, okay, last but certainly not the least, the last food that I will be reviewing is the paper that Charlie Dalton eats after ripping out. The paper that Charlie Dalton eats. Oh, to be that paper. I mean, raise your hand. Like this video if you've ever been jealous of a piece of paper. Okay, edibility. I've eaten paper when I was younger. I don't necessarily recommend it because like there's absolutely no flavor. You can't chew it properly. Like the only thing that you could do to paper in order to ingest it is to like suck on it on a while and like hope that the gnawing of your molars would mimic any kind of chewing for you to be able to, you know, eventually swallow it. Because it's a dry swallow. Basically what paper is like incredibly dried out fiber. So you're gonna have to rehydrate the fiber in order to ingest paper. And the fact, maybe Charlie did not know this fact. Maybe. You know, like we have to have some hope for Charlie. He has a few medals on him. But he might not have known this before shoving some paper. No, but he seems like the type of guy who would eat paper. I mean, he did. Like, he seems like the type of guy who would just randomly shove paper in his mouth. For example, there was some kind of note that he didn't want anybody to see, and then like somebody's like, let me see, and then he would like put it in his mouth and like swallow it just so no one would see the note. Like, that's the kind of guy Charlie Dalton would be. So, okay, benefit of the doubt, Charlie probably does know how to eat paper. And that piece of paper, I don't know, he made it look yummy. Was he putting it in his mouth logically? I mean, when a teacher finds out you were ripping a bunch of papers from a textbook, would your first instinct be shoving one of the papers into your mouth? Not necessarily, but Charlie is a special boy who has put paper into his mouth. So, that being said, I would like to rate Charlie's paper, okay, the paper that he has put in his mouth, Shakespeare's score on the Pritchard scale over Byron's score on the Pritchard scale, which I'm guessing is like roughly like an 8 over 5, right? Either way, Charlie Dalton, you know, let him be the radical paper eater. So that concludes this video. I know what you were thinking. That's it? Like that's the whole video? Yes. Am I delaying a bunch of other videos? Was this outfit meant to be for other videos? Actually, undoubtedly, yes. I was planning to do a bunch of other videos with this outfit, but they're kind of delayed right now. Especially, I actually reacted to Swing Kids and Gattaca, which were two amazing movies that starred. One of them is starring Robert Sean Leonard and Swing Kids, the other one Gattaca with Ethan Hawke. They are very well-made movies. The thing is, for some reason, my beloved laptop does not want to cooperate with me trying to edit Swing Kids. I think I'd have an easier job with editing Gattaca first, but I really want to edit Swing Kids first because you know, it's not like Robert Sean Leonard is the purpose of my life right now or anything. And I had very good reactions to both those movies, and I wanted to share that soon. But this is going first because I think there was a bit of a drought on my YouTube. And I'd like to say that the Robert Sean Leonard video has probably, you know, solidified a bit of myself as the person who is a complete simp for Robert Sean Leonard, and they would not be wrong. And they would not be wrong to say that that is my goal. And, you know, I also want to be able to show you the capability that I am also able to be pretty. I'm not just some nerd or some like geek, sad 24-year-old. I'm capable of being not what I was in the other video. So like, I don't know why I removed my glasses. I literally cannot see my own face. So yeah, okay. Nerd for nerd, am I right? Was this a good video idea? Yes. Oh, was I asking you? No. I was asking myself, in the future. I don't know how long this would take to edit, but I assume it would be easier to edit this before the Swing Kids and Gattaca reaction. I put on fake nails for this. You can't even see it. I put on makeup, I put on these clothes to feel something, and I do. Because I haven't worn makeup in a while. I haven't worn nice clothes in a while. End card. So here's that video I've been talking about, Robert Sean Leonard, I Would Still Die For You. And this side of the video is again my underperry analysis. If for some reason in the future I come back to this video and recommend something else different, I'm going to guess it's me probably reacting to Gattaca. I'd like to put the Gattaca video on this side, you know, like me simping for Robert Sean Leonard, me simping for Ethan Hawke. Have a great day, and I hope you don't eat health and hash anytime soon. Have some carbs. The Dead Poet Society loves their carbs. So, bye!